Greetings, whiskey folk, and welcome to this special message for premium members only. Now, it's been a little while since I've addressed you guys specifically, but we have some wonderful news to share with you today. First of all, we don't have just one premium exclusive whiskey. We've got 4. So, brace yourselves. These whiskies are whiskies that we only get a very limited amount of, and as such, we're giving you guys the first right of refusal, I guess, dibs on these special limited editions. And we're starting off with something that I had absolutely no idea was coming, and apparently neither really did the agents. No one knows why it's here, how it's here, but I just know I'm glad that it's here, because this is a super cool whiskey that frankly, I didn't really even know existed because it's not ever been available in this market before. And from what I understand, it's not available anywhere anymore. So, yeah, I don't know how this got here, but let's celebrate. Let's celebrate the light at the end of the tunnel with, this beautiful box. The Whyte & Mackay 30-year-old blended Scotch whiskey. That is pretty stunning presentation, and it only gets better as well. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this one tastes because it reviews really well. A lot of very positive reviews on the internet. We're looking for some sophisticated aged whiskey. We're looking for quite a lot of sherry apparently in this one. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Let's put it front and center. You can take a look at that. Oh, such a nice, simple design. So, what does it say? 30 years old, it's a masterpiece. A blended whiskey is a work of art. At 30 years old, this blend is a masterpiece. It is only through time such distinguished blend can be created. After 30 long years in the wood, only the finest malts and grains will be carefully selected in a manner which will complement each other in perfect harmony. Once again, we call upon time to allow individual whiskies to mingle and marry to form a lasting union. Finally, time is needed to appreciate this noble blend. After all, good things come to those who are prepared to wait. And it has a very fancy signature of a very fancy man on it on the back as well, and I'll explain that in a second. So Whyte & Mackay, you may well have heard of them, one of the most prestigious traditional blenders, very highly regarded. They started in 1844 in the Glasgow docks, founded by James Whyte and Charles Mackay. However, neither of those names are what's important to Whyte & Mackay these days, despite still being named after them. What's important is their very long-lasting master blender, the guy in charge of putting together their incredible whiskies. A guy who, love him or hate him, he is an amazing blender. And that man is Richard Paterson, the nose, the guy who insured his nose for I think it was more than David Beckham's foot at one point. Magnificent whiskey blender. And I know a couple of people are thinking, isn't he the guy that does Jura and who does Dalmore? And they're not really my style of whiskies for single malts. Well, I think I've come to realise this recently. I think part of that is that Richard, I think, has blurred the lines a little bit and is kind of treating both Jura and Dalmore more like a blended whiskey than a single malt. It's very harmonized. It's very cutting off all the round edges, all the sharp edges, making them round. And if you're not expecting that, and if maybe you're not a fan of that, that's maybe not for you. But I think where Richard really, really shines is in his blends. I like the regular Whyte & Mackay. I do. I really liked the what's it called? The one with the South Exploration. The South Pole Exploration one, where they found a whiskey under the ice and then they actually brought it to Richard Paterson to try and recreate it. That was absolutely amazing. The Shackleton. He's also the guy responsible for one of my favourite whiskies, the Nomad, the Outland whiskey, a whiskey that's legally not allowed to be called Scotch because it was matured for a period of time at the bodega in Spain where the sherry is made, which is pretty cool as well. So yeah, he's a very, very good blender. And let's see what he can do with 30-year-old liquid, shall we? Very excited by this one. Although, as is tradition, I'm going to have a hard time getting into it. I need someone with nails. Oh, there we go. Beautiful. Foil cap over here. Ready for the pop? That was a pop. All right. Got my Dram Association Wee Glencairn. Let's see what we're doing. Oh, that is a glorious colour. This is, of course, not necessarily natural colour, because we do know that Richard Patterson does like to add colouring, which, yes, is disingenuous, but studies have shown it doesn't actually affect the taste at all. So, yeah, it just makes it look pretty. It's like lipstick. Oh, wow. That is a beautifully... It's a funny thing. It's deep, dark sherry notes. It's got that molasses and it's got that dried cherry kind of thing on the nose, but it's also got all this fresh fruit that I wasn't expecting. It's like you've mixed a mince pie with a tropical fruit salad, and it's doesn't sound like it would work in real life, but it certainly works in the world of whiskey. Oh, that is masterful. That is... Oh, and it keeps going. That is soft. That is harmonious. That is majestic. That is complex. That is... That is all of the areas of flavor are represented here. There's a touch of bitterness. There's... I would say it's perfectly balanced on all of them, and you don't necessarily want it to be either. There's more sweet than there is bitter, for example, which is generally a good thing in whiskey. Yeah, there's a nice touch of sour there, almost like a lemon kind of a flavor going on. It's a touch salty as well. It's very good. And there's this nice sort of savory nuttiness. Going back to the nose now, there's this unmistakable aroma of crushing freshly cracked walnuts. If you've ever got a bit too hard with a nutcracker and a walnut and just gone straight through the nut, you can get that. It's quite a specific smell. It's glorious. Yes, I'm glad I dressed up for the occasion, because this is a bottle worthy of it. And yeah, as far as I can tell, only 6 came to the province, and no one knows why they're here. I'm sure they were probably brought in for a specific customer who neglected to actually pull them from the warehouse, and we ended up with them. I'm very sorry if that's the case to that customer, but I guess you snooze, you lose. I don't know. Either way, it was wide open to the public, and if anyone was going to get it, it was going to be us. So... yeah, if you are interested in celebrating the light at the end of the tunnel with a White & Mackay 30-year-old blended Scotch whisky, regular price is $299.83. But of course, if you're watching this video, you are a premium member of the Dram Association, and as such, it is your right, your privilege to have 10% off of this bottle. So for you guys, of course, it is $269.85. $269.85 for a 30-year-old heavily sherried, high malt content as well, I think, in this one. Beautiful, beautiful blended Scotch whisky. Just excellent. All right. Fun doesn't end there, because, like I said, we have 4 special releases for you today. Next up, about as different as you could get to the White & Mackay 30, to be honest. This is, yeah, just completely the opposite end of the spectrum. We're going local. We're going for a quite sought-after, very limited local whiskey. Not even a single malt this time. And this might surprise a few of you, because a few of you might not even know they make whiskey, because it hasn't been available on the shelves here at the Strath yet. It's mostly only been available at the distillery. This is a company called Stillhead. And Stillhead, outstanding local distiller, run by Brennan Colbank. They're up in Duncan, of all places, which is really cool. But sidebar, the fact that there's not a donut shop in Duncan called Duncan Donuts is a travesty. Someone needs to get onto that. Yeah, I actually met Brennan back at the Island Beer and Spirits Festival at the Strath a few years ago. and he is very good at what he does. He told me then that he plans to do whiskey, and that's his sort of goal, is to be a whiskey distiller. But of course, you can't just straight up make whiskey, because you've got to wait a long time before you can actually start seeing any profits. So to be, to be a company, he had to do other things. And instead of just going, yeah, we'll make a vodka, we'll make a gin, they did something kind of more unique than that. Yes, they make a vodka, and it's very good. And yes, they make a gin, and that's actually excellent. But they also make fresh-picked blackberry vodka and gin as well, with local blackberries, which are harvested by, I believe, a local First Nations group, which is cool. But on top of that, they get even more experimental. One of my favourite things that I've had from them at the festival was an apple brandy, which I ended up bringing into the store and taking a bottle home myself. Yeah, really cool stuff that they're doing, and they're not afraid to experiment, and that shows with this whiskey. Stillhead Rye. Small batch whiskey. There you go. Isn't that cool? Still not quite sure how to make this thing go in focus. There you go. Is it working? Yeah. Cool. Really interesting small batch local whiskey. It's 46% ABV. It's hand numbered. This is bottle 121 of 249. And yeah, it's got a little bit of info on the back. Our family-owned and operated craft distillery is located on Vancouver Island, where we ferment and distill batch spirits by hand using only fruits and grains grown in British Columbia, Canada. So super local, they'll only use BC fruits and grains. Our whiskies are made from scratch at our distillery in the Cowichan Valley, using only the finest BC grains and malts. Each release is distinct, carefully selected and bottled after at least 3 years of aging, using a variety of grains and types of barrels. We strive to provide a unique expression with every release. Enjoy this whiskey release. So there's one piece of information on the front I neglected to tell you. So, as I mentioned, they do the blackberry vodkas and stuff, but they're not the only company using blackberry for things. And there's another company, excuse me, here on the island doing blackberry things, and they make a blackberry port wine, or port style wine. And this happens to be finished in a cask that used to contain it. And if that sounds vaguely familiar, it's because we actually did have a blackberry wine cask single malt from Shelter Point, which was the avant-garde. I actually have it right here. See? And it had an amazing effect on the whiskey inside. And this was just a wine, not a port, which is an important difference to mention there. So this is a rye in a blackberry port cask. Let's see what we think. Ooh. They know how to make a good pop. Nice. Interesting sort of orangey, slightly purple hued tint to the whiskey there as well. First up off the note, baking spice, which is a key thing with rye. I'm really glad we found that in here, because the idea of baking spice with blackberry port sounds like a match made in heaven, doesn't it? Yeah, classic Canadian rye notes. A nice amount of pepper in there as well. And there comes a little bit of the blackberry wine influence. It's not super strong. It's kind of, it feels like more of a delicate sort of introduction into the blackberry wine cask there. It's really good though. Ooh, there's a really nice biscuity note on the finish that I'm very much enjoying on this. I have to say, not a massive fan of ryes in general. I mean, I enjoy rye whiskey, don't get me wrong, but it's not my favorite category. This is a very good example of one though. And it doesn't surprise me that we're seeing their rye whiskies before we're seeing their single malts. Rye whiskey does tend to do better at a younger age, because part of the thing with rye is you want that sort of spice, you want that heat, and that kind of lends itself to a younger whiskey quite often. I mean, look at the Alberta Premium Cask Strength, which is winning awards all over the show. That's not old. There's a reason it doesn't have an age statement. Well, that's really good. Has this sort of stewed apple kind of flavor going on. It's like an apple pie. Yeah. Impressed with that. And if you want to support local and pick up a really interesting rye whiskey from the island here, you can pick this guy up. Normally 82.52. I say normally. I don't think we're going to sell any 82.52 because it's a premium exclusive and you guys get first dibs, and it'll probably all go at the price of $74.27. So yeah, please do support Brennan, support local, and enjoy this stillhead. And if you do get one and enjoy it, let me know how much you enjoy it, because I am looking for the next in our series of Strath single cask local whiskies as well. On that, in case you missed the other video, we do have some single cask Commodore from Odd Society right now. You might see the bottles actually hiding up here. Yeah, there, and there actually. If you're interested in picking some of those up, still available, and you are eligible for your 10% discount on those as well. All right, on with the show. We do have just a little bit more to offer. So, there was a tasting that a lot of people are very excited for that has now been delayed, but I didn't want to delay the release of these whiskies because, well, I know that they're just itching to go home with someone. And that tasting is Kilchoman. And we will be having a Kilchoman tasting with a representative from the distillery, I believe next month now, with the release of another limited edition. But we have two very special limited edition Kilchomans to share with you today, and premium members are getting the exclusive on both of them. Really interesting pair of whiskies. So for those of you who aren't aware of Kilchoman, they're an Islay distillery, so as you might guess, they're quite heavily peated. They were the first distillery on Islay to be built in over 124 years. They were built in 2005. They're the youngest distillery on Islay that's producing sort of mature whiskey right now. And they're apparently Scotland's only single farm, single malt producers. So they do grow their own barley. They don't just use their own barley. There are some releases that do use only their own barley, but they do the whole process of growing to bottling right there on the farm, just like Shelter Point. They actually have 2,000 acres, though, which I think is quite a bit more than Shelter Point. That's around the old ruined Kilchoman church. So, yes, peated. They actually malt in-house as well, one thing that Shelter Point doesn't do yet. They are malting their own barley to between 10 and 25 parts per million, which isn't overly peated, yes, I know, but they also bring in 50 ppm barley from, I believe, Port Ellen as well, from Diageo, which is super cool. Interestingly enough as well, despite having, 2,000 acres, they actually borrow warehouse space from their neighbours, and they apparently have matured their whiskey not only on site at Kilchoman, but also at Bruichladdich, Bowmore, and over at Port Ellen Maltings as well, mostly in Dunwich warehouses, which is pretty cool. Now, these two special editions are only available in BC at two locations: the Strath and our partners Legacy, who also partner with us, the Scotch Malt Whisky Society. And for those of you wondering why I'm making so many mistakes in my speech, I haven't had coffee yet, and I'm recording this at 8 o'clock in the morning. So, the 2010 vintage from Kilchoman. Yes, this was released in 2019. I believe it makes it a 9-year-old whiskey. But yeah, super cool. This was distilled 5 years after Kilchoman was created. Actually has a write-up on the back here. Kilchoman Distillery sits nestled amongst the traditional buildings of Rockside Farm on the northwest coast of Islay. Famous as Islay's farm distillery, the distillery's barley fields stretch west of the shores of Machia Bay in the Atlantic Ocean. Kilchoman is unique in many ways, most notably for our 100% Islay range, Scotland's only single farm, single malt. Established in 2005, Kilchoman is true to Islay's rich farming distilling heritage, using local peat cut in the traditional way, slowly distilled by hand, maturing in traditional dunnage warehouses, and bottling on site without colouring or chill filtration. No colouring, no chill filtration, ever. The 2010 vintage has been matured in both ex-bourbon and sherry casks for over 9 years. The marriage of two cask types create a rich combination of peat smoke, dried fruit, and herbaceous spices. Usually bottled at 46, the 2010 vintage has been released at 48 to accentuate the powerful flavours and long, clean finish. Signed by Anthony Wills, the founder of Kilchoman. Yes, 48% ABV, which of course is very exciting. I'll give you a peek at the bottle there. Very, very cool. Yeah, beautiful looking bottle. Let's see how the whiskey is. I have no doubt that this is going to be spectacular. Love a Kilchoman. They're a bit of a dark horse in the Islay race. A lot of people forget about them because they're so new, but oh, they make a good whiskey. Nice pop, a little bit of splash actually. My thumb smells glorious. Ooh, my thumb smells really glorious. And here we go for the 2010. Nice levels of smoke. Kind of a porridge-like nose, like smoked porridge. There's nice baking spices, cloves, there's orange peel, a little bit of licorice, a little bit of bacon, actually quite a lot of bacon. Nice sort of maritime-y, sort of ocean-soaked boardwalk planks. Yeah, and the palate is all of that and more. That's lovely. Little grapefruit in there, little sooty. It's very nice. It's clean. Touch of those sort of banana bread kind of notes. Goes really well with the cloves. Then on the finish, it brightens up. It gets fresher. We've got peaches. We've got just fresh banana. Almost like a yogurt-y kind of thing. Why have I said yogurt? Weird. I must be... I've been here too long. I normally say yogurt. Apparently yogurt is the way I pronounce it now. Yeah. That is very, very good. Like I said, we have the exclusive here on the island. Only 4 cases, I think. Maybe 5 came into BC. We got 2 of them. So if you would like to pick up one of the 11 available bottles of this whiskey, well, you can, because it's normally $165.13, but it's available right now at strathliquor.com for $148.62. And you can get to that by going to the Dram Association Premium page, and it will show you all of the exclusives right there. Same with the other 2 whiskies that we've released already today. Yeah, there'll also be links in the description in the video too. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Very, very good whiskey. But like I said, we've got 2. We've got a second Kilchoman coming up. All right. So what could be the grand finale? What could be potentially even more special than having the 2010 vintage finally arrive here in BC? Only 2 years late. Well, a beautiful thing has happened. For I was given I was given the option of having this whiskey, and I didn't think it was the whiskey that it is, because Kilchoman recently released a Pedro Jimenez cask whiskey that is part of the special releases for 2021, that is an international release, and I believe the first time the PX whiskey's been available internationally. So that's what I thought I was getting. That's just not what arrived. What arrived is a thing of pure beauty, and I cannot wait to try it. A Kilchoman Pedro Jimenez single cask finish. Yes, a single cask finish PX cask Kilchoman. Why is this so special? Why is this so exciting? Well, because we really shouldn't have this. This was supposed to be a distillery exclusive. You could only buy this at the distillery. Well, actually, because it was released in 2020, in December 2020, it was only available on the distillery's website. And at the time, they were only shipping to the UK. So you had to be in the UK to be able to get it. Yeah, well, I am amazed that we have this whiskey. It's super cool. One of the things that I noticed that makes it even cooler, and hopefully I'm not going to get in trouble with anyone for saying this, but you take the bottle out, which, stunning bottle, of course, as you would expect, and that beautiful, deep, rich, dark colours. There's there's a sticker. There's a big Kilchoman sticker there. And on this bottle, peeking out just behind it, is a very familiar looking sticker to an Englishman. And in fact, I reckon if I peel it off... Oh, it's destroying it. It's taking the sticker beneath it down with it. I can't just get the top sticker off. It's a mutually guaranteed destruction if I keep peeling. But I can see the telltale sort of striped white and pink border of a British tax sticker. So this has been... tax has been paid for in Britain on this bottle already, I believe. This was not destined originally to be exported, but grateful we are that it has been, because this is 55.4% cask strength PX finish Kilcommon, and that is enough to turn pretty much any peat lover's head in its direction. Let's go in for it. Oh, super exciting. Oh, what a way to start the day. That is big, beautiful sherry notes. The same sherry notes we found in that first whiskey, actually. It's very much this sort of fruit and nuts thing going on, but with this introduction of a rich vein of peat in there as well. That is very good. But I don't want to say quite how good it is because, well, I know that there's already going to be a rush on this, and I want you guys who are getting to the video early to have the best chance. So go to strathliquor.com right now, go to the Dram Association Premium page, pick this one up, normally $182.52. Right now it can be yours for $164.27. An incredible price for this whiskey. Just absolutely incredible. The announcements don't end there, because today's little update is not just about the exclusives, which, again, all four I'm pretty impressed with. Oh, there's this beautiful vanilla cake thing going on as well. I'm going to keep enjoying and talking about this whiskey a little as I make the final announcement, because it's been a while since we've been able to see each other in person, hasn't it, guys? It's been far too long. And in fact, the last time that we welcomed specifically premium members to the Strath was for the studio sample sessions last year in, I think, September. I forget, to be honest, right now, but, you know, I have it written down somewhere. It's been a while. We wanted to do more studio sample sessions, but the restrictions kept being tightened and not allowing us to. And, well, now the restrictions are lifted, and we are allowed to theoretically do the studio sample sessions again. However, as you might notice, I'm no longer in the studio. The studio is now being used as a hotel room again, because tourists are allowed, which is a great thing for the company I work for, because we're a hotel and a tourist destination. And without tourists, we, well, find it pretty hard to survive. So, very happy to be giving up my studio space back to the Strathcona Hotel. And I will be recording from this new studio space in my dining room for the time being. But that does mean that we can't do another studio sample sessions. Instead, we're having a tasting. And we're breaking it into two so that we don't have too many people in the room at once. But we are going to be welcoming you to a very special tasting titled Dram. It's good to be back. Yes, that's right. A premium member-only tasting event is going to happen across 2 days, Sunday, July the 11th and Thursday, July the 22nd. And that is at 4 p.m. on the Sunday and 6:30 p.m. on the Tuesday. Yeah, it's going to be glorious. I should mention, of course, with anything right now, there is a chance that we might have to postpone or cancel the tasting due to health orders, but we're fairly confident that we'll be able to go ahead with this right now. It's going to be great. I don't want to give you too much information. It's going to be a relatively small tasting in terms of the amount of whiskies, but my lord, the whiskies themselves will be magnificent. I can guarantee it. Tickets will be $100 per person. It's only premium members who are allowed to come to this tasting. That being said, no one watching this video should be paying $100 for that ticket because, that is basically just to deter brand new premium members. Well, I shouldn't say deter. If you happen to see this video when you're not supposed to, and you want to sign up and become a member so you can come to this tasting, sure, go ahead. However, anyone who's already a member at the time that this was recorded gets a discount. And in fact, if you were a member in 2020, if you've been a member since 2020 and your membership has been remained intact throughout the first half of 2021, this tasting's free. Yes, that's right, free. You get a $100 discount on a $100 ticket. You can come along to Dram It's Good to Be Back for $0. And what's more, if you have signed up since January 1st, 2021, you will also get a discount based on how long you've been a member as well. And those discounts will apply automatically at checkout. Those tickets are available right now on the Dram Association Premium page. When you book your ticket, you can choose to either be seated on your own, completely separately, in a socially distanced manner from other guests, or you can choose to request to be on a table with your friends. I haven't quite figured out perfectly how to implement that on the site. That's my project for the next couple of days. But by the time this video goes live, there will be a system set up so that you can write the name of your friends down and request to be seated with them. However, I must stipulate that it must be a mutual agreement. So, for example, if I wanted to sit on the same table as Brett, and I put Brett down as one of my friends on the list that I want to be seated with, Brett also books a ticket but says that my name doesn't appear on his list, then we won't be seated together. Each other's name have to appear on each other's lists. So if you know other premium members that you would like to be seated with at this tasting, please check in with them and make sure that you're both on each other's lists. And if you do need to add people to your lists after buying the ticket, please just shoot me an email. You hopefully know my email by now. It's whiskey@strathliquor.com. And I will do my absolute best to make sure that everyone is seated in the way that they would like to be seated for this event. So welcome back, guys. I hope you pick up one of our, or maybe more than one of our exclusive whiskies for you guys right now. Really interesting selection. And I look forward to seeing many of you at our Dram It's Good to Be Back tasting next month. Slán se bha. Have a great weekend.